Hi there. Welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney. We've got an angry balloon man on the stand. And he's mad about his balloons, as you can imagine. Now let me just review the testimony real quick. Okay, no liar. If all of his balloons were carrying passengers, if they fell to the ground in an explosion, would have cut stuff off. But you can't get away from the fact that a burn-up bit of cloth was found at the scene, can ya? Now let's see. This statement here. Di stupido recoso is a mistake. My balloons have the red and blue zigzag stripes anyway. Now, we did get a bit of evidence. Now let's just look at that real quick. You can't tell the color, but you can tell there ain't no zigzag stripes on there, now are there? There's also this fucking, like, laser beam or whatever the fuck. But also this, no stripes. If this is not right, then, frankly, I will pull my hair out and, do a little jig.
Objection!
Bro, what the fuck? Are you fucking me? Are you butt fucking me? You've gotta be butt fucking me right now. He literally said zigzag stripes. That balloon in the photo doesn't have zigzag stripes. It's not fucking rocket science, it's, propulsion. Yeah, okay, whatever. Okay, I guess it wasn't the photo. Okay, so I'm not gonna get too upset though. There is also this statement, right? All three of my balloons were carrying passengers. But then again, if you look at the photo, as you can see, ain't no one in there. So, that's gotta be it. Right?
Objection!
Okay, thank God. If that was wrong, don't know what I would have done. Unfortunately, the photograph master got him. Can't tell us the color of the balloon, but it can tell us something else. Something crucially important. What? It shows the pictured balloon wasn't carrying any passengers. Ah, my goodness, you're right. But surely all the balloons would have been carrying passengers. There would be no sense in it otherwise. See, they are for pleasure, for seeing the view. My balloons only fly with passengers. Which tells us that the pictured balloon isn't one of them. So when the incident occurred that day, there was a fourth balloon in the skies above the experimentation stage. The mysterious green balloon. I know nothing. Diante, I can only tell you one thing. If this balloon was not carrying passengers, then it was not one of mine. Okay, I mean, I believe you. Maybe someone just had their own personal balloon, their own recreational balloon that they just flew in the air without any passengers for some reason. Oh, look at that! His hat is inflating like a balloon. Isn't that cute? There are illegal tradesmen everywhere you care to look. Clearly, one such entrepreneur decided to capitalize on the opportunity presented by the Great Exhibition and managed to operate balloon flights on Mr. Lune's patch without him realizing. See, the competition trying to steal my profits. I did not notice because of the experimental that went wrong on the stage. This fourth balloon exploded at the very same moment that Mr. Assman was beamed from the stage below. Right, but them scraps that fell to the ground after and left him scorch marks. They didn't come from the stage at all. It was bits of the balloon raining down. Yeah, you really fucking putting it together, aren't you? Fucking Herlock. Because no one was in it, and it get no attention. Mysterious force balloon carrying no passengers, silently floating over the experimentation stage.
Objection!
This photograph shows us nothing more. A stray balloon carrying no one and operated by some rogue trader. Clearly it has nothing to do with the case.
Its relevance does elude me, I must say.
The court has seen sufficient evidence and heard ample testimony already. The prosecution calls for this trial to be concluded.
Oh, you're just saying that because you don't want us to see or prove that it really was related to the case somehow. Oh, hey, you're reading the newspaper. You guys. Oh, I wasn't sure. I guess they're just thinking. Really? Have you really got to the truth yet? No. I can't let this opportunity slip away. The jurors' minds are made up, and not in our favor. What else can this photograph tell us? Is there nothing more we can learn from it? Yeah, duh. What about that fucking
Objection!
shooting, what is that, a bullet? A gun? A laser beam? Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, wait. Please don't give your decisions yet. The photograph from Master Gotts may well be hiding one more vital clue. What's that? Jesus Christ, don't make that... Okay, well, alright, magician pogger guy. A vital clue?
Objection!
We're well past the point of mere possibilities. It's time for definitives now. So tell the court. What exactly does this alleged clue in the photograph prove?
The balloon's owner, the balloon's color, or the cause of the explosion? Well, I am curious as to what they might say if I pick these two. I feel like this is the obvious answer, right? Besides, given how I've been stumped already, I don't want to find myself in a position like it was before, where I didn't have enough hearts for my situation. So yeah, sure, it was the cause of the explosion, I guess. We can reasonably assume that the pictured balloon was destroyed in the searing heat of the explosion. Ja, that's right. Ja, it was not my fault.
Evidently. Because the birdcage from the kinesis machine materialized in the sky where it had been flying. And the balloon, being filled with flammable hydrogen, instantly and explosively ignited.
Objection!
No, that's not what happened.
What?
It would appear that this photograph requires closer examination. Counsel for the defense, you will highlight the location of this alleged clue in the photograph for the court. Of course, my lord. If you look closely, it's plain enough to see. And what's shown is linked to another piece of evidence we have, in a way that leads to an unbelievable conclusion. The clue that heavily suggests the real reason the balloon exploded is, it's this. It's pretty obvious. Like, whatever this is.
Take that!
Take that, yeah. Fucking... The timing of this photograph can only be described as miraculous. Yeah, boy, is it. I mean, it's literally like the very moment before it exploded. If you look, you'll notice there's a bright white line that appears to point directly at the balloon.
Most likely a ray of light caught incidentally on the film.
I'm afraid I can see nothing of the sort. Bro, you fucking blind? I mean, I guess you are wearing glasses, but still. If you look with a magnifying glass, my lord, it becomes clear what the nature of this bright line really is. Goodness, what is that? Undeniably some flash of light, yes. Oh, good golly. Do you think it might be lightning? Bro, lightning don't come from the bottom. It don't come from the ground and shoot up. It comes from the sky and shoots down. Even I, not a scientist, can tell you that much. But it couldn't have been a finer day. And again, lightning don't come from the ground. What the fuck are you talking about? I believe we may be looking at fire. A bolt of fire, straight on the balloon, like an arrow. Like an arrow, you say? Also, you're missing a tooth, my dude. Indeed. Even in my aging eyes, it would appear to be a flame of some sort. My word! Are you suggesting this flame struck the hydrogen gas that filled the balloon?
Objection!
That's absurd! The balloon would have been 60 feet above the ground at the time. No flame could possibly have reached such a height.
Objection!
Actually, it's my opinion that you're a fucking idiot. That a particular piece of evidence found at the scene reveals exactly how that is exactly what did happen.
What evidence?
Well, such evidence exists, Counsel, and for goodness sake, present it, man! What evidence explains this mysterious streak of flame that appears to be headed directly for the balloon? Well, like that one guy said, it's almost like an arrow. And, what do we know that shoots arrows? Pretty sure that's a crossbow. Oh, I mean, other bows shoot arrows too.
Take that!
You know, the crossbow is relevant fucking, topic of discussion. This was found hidden at the foot of a small ornamental tree near the scene. Yeah, well, also, like, I wonder why if someone did shoot a balloon, why would they just fucking, like, leave the crossbow, there? Like, it wasn't even, like, super well hidden, you know? Good lord! Is that a crossbow? An arrow, dipped in oil and set alight, could have been shot from this weapon. Oh, it's a flaming arrow? It's pretty badass. Sending a flaming arrow straight into the hydrogen-filled balloon.
Are you suggesting that crossbow was used deliberately?
Blimey, you're right. That streak of light in the photo looks just like an arrow, doesn't it? Doesn't it? Then, the explosione of the balloon, it was, very likely the result of a flaming arrow from this crossbow igniting the hydrogen gas inside it.
No! Order! Order!
Extraordinary supposition. I mean, extraordinary, yes, but inaccurate? I think not. If the aim was to cause the balloon to explode, the shooter could have used a gun, of course, which, also, yeah, I wonder why you wouldn't use a gun. Oh. Okay. Apparently there's an obvious reason. However, there's an obvious reason why that would have been out of the question.
The noise of the discharge.
Oh, duh. Obviously, people would have heard a fucking gunshot going off. Okay, I'm the fucking idiot there.
Of course.
That's right. By using a crossbow, the projectile could be fired at the balloon silently. Well, yeah, if someone had shot a gun off at the exhibition grounds, would have caused a real panic. But with the big explosion there was a very big panic anyway, no? I don't like this. I should be pleased to have found a plausible new explanation for all this, but something feels wrong.
Objection!
Do you understand the implications of what you're saying, my Nipponese friend?
Not entirely, I don't think. If a flaming arrow did indeed hit the balloon, then obviously it would have exploded. And as the birdcage appeared from the cloud of smoke that ensued... What? Wait a minute. What are you really saying here? I don't get it. What? Was the birdcage beamed up in the sky after all, or... what? My goodness me. You wanna fill me in, Renosuke? Because I feel like I'm not exactly putting the pieces together. At least not entirely. Ah, now I understand. That's what this sinking feeling is about. I think there's a good chance that the birdcage was actually concealed inside the balloon all along. Wait, really? Are you sure about that? That's definitely not the conclusion I was coming to. I mean, if you look at the photo, there's obviously not anyone in there. No, is there? And besides, look, dude, what the fuck is this? Come on, we can see it in the photo. What? Curious. What? Bah, did I just hear that correctly, Council? There's no going back now. The horse is bolted. Let's assume, as I said, that the birdcage was hidden inside the green balloon from the start. On stage, when the experiment was started, the birdcage and the instantaneous kinesis machine disappeared in a cloud of smoke. At that moment, the flaming arrow was fired from the ground, causing the green balloon to explode and drawing the attention of the spectators to the sky above their heads. Right, okay. From amid the smoke, the hidden birdcage then appeared to fall down and crash to the crystal tower. I think you all agree that it's entirely plausible. Wouldn't there be, like, burn marks on him somewhere? Like, he doesn't look like he's been, exploded or, burnt in any significant way, so, like... Man, this is one of those moments where he, like, I assume it's like, the truth, but, doesn't quite add up just yet. And what I've just described is the real truth behind the miraculous experiment carried out that day. This, my good grief,
Objection!
This is ludicrous. What you described is no science experiment. It's child's play. The contemptible display of stage magic.
Both Mr. Sholmes and Iris said that the experiment was a scientific impossibility. In which case, this is the only way to explain what happened that day.
And in any case, the victim's body was found inside the birdcage of the Crystal Tower. If the instantaneous kinesis didn't take place, how do you explain that?
If I may put in a word, as a man of magic myself, such apparent discrepancies can easily be explained by some simple deception. Juror number 3? All that would be needed is a doppelganger, someone who looked very similar to the victim, Mr. Assman, and having this other man appear on stage to front the show as a body double. Yeah, I guess that's true, now that you mention it. But, I kind of assumed Harebrained would not, be so duplicitous. He seemed to really believe in the, validity of his hypothesis and his experiment and stuff. Yes, of course. So in fact, Mr. Assman must have been inside the birdcage that was concealed inside the balloon right from the start.
Objection!
That balloon would have been filled with hydrogen. Anything hidden inside it would have been scattered to the four winds when it exploded. No one would ever have embarked on such a risky venture.
Not necessarily. The explosive force of the balloon gas would very much depend upon the mixture ratio. Genre 4. Flying balloons are rarely filled with pure hydrogen, but a mixture of other gases such as helium as well. See, I knew helium was involved somewhere along in the way. Helium on its own doesn't explode, but by controlling the gas mixture ratio, the explosive force can be altered.
The mixture ratio?
Obviously, the victim's body would have suffered some burns. That would be unavoidable. Yeah, exactly. That's why I was wondering. I didn't see any burn marks on him anywhere. Wait. Let me just look at this real quick. Yeah, the autopsy report doesn't mention any burn wounds or anything, so that's fairly curious, don't you think? But not to such an extent as to render this whole obscene charade impossible. So everything that happened can be explained, logically and scientifically. The explosion that engulfed the stage at the start of the experiment was no accident. It was all part of an elaborate deception to make it appear that instantaneous kinesis had occurred. Well, goodness me. And if we accept that this is what happened, it means that the victim, Mr. Assman, was never present on the public experimentation stage to begin with. In short, he couldn't have been killed by the defendant, who was on stage in full view the entire time. God damn it, I gotta watch my voice. This will be very hard for the prosecution to counter. I mean, yeah, thanks to juror 3 and 5 having my back, they managed to make my not very plausible situation sound rather plausible, in fact. Lord Van Zykes can't credibly maintain that Professor Hairbrain is a suspect now. Hold it. I think I know who this is going to be. I have a feeling. Yeah, I had a feeling that Hairbrain was not going to be happy about us claiming the whole thing was a charade and a scam. A nerdy voice incoming. Hey, Mr. Naruhodo, I appreciate your efforts. Thank you. Professor? But you can stop now. Just keep your mouth shut, please. Sorry.
What's all this about, Mr. Hairbrain?
I, Albert Hairbrain, hereby confess that it was me who stabbed Mr. Odie Assman. What? Bro, you can't just confess that. What the fuck are you talking about, man? Jesus, you're not the most helpful of defendants, you know that? Yes, it was me, with my faithful friend and partner, Andrew the Screwdriver. That fucking Andrew. We gotta lock him up as well. What? What are you doing, man?
Order! Order!
Defendant, explain this confession. No, you just shut the fuck up, Mr. Hairbrain. Shut your whore mouth and let me do my job, okay? Professor Hairbrain, what the fuck are you talking about? It's what I've said all along. I must protect my hypothesis and my precious machine. You stand there and claim it was all a trick, all an elaborate prank. But where's your proof? No, you'd have to examine the machine if you wanted to prove it, but then it would all be over. My beautiful hypothesis would be laid bare. I mean, the indignity of it. Bro, fuck you and your goddamn hypothesis. It's clear It's clear that you drew the plans for the experiment, but you didn't actually build it. It's quite conceivable that you would do, Professor. If you'll just let me, I can... Baroque!
Yes?
I'll cooperate. I'll do whatever you say. I swear it. So please, ensure the Special Dispensation of the Scientific Equipment Act is adhered to and protect my creation. And he seems more concerned about his hypothesis than his own life. I mean, I feel like it's worth sharing that, I feel like it's worth pointing out that your hypothesis isn't going to mean much if you're dead, my guy. You know.
Pray forgive the discourtesy of filling my hallowed chalice at this critical juncture.
Oh, hey, like the longsword skill.
Here's to my learned Nipponese friend.
What? Me?
And his upcoming attempt to clarify the defense's position in the light of the accuser's confession.
I'm just gonna say that Hairbrain is experiencing a mental break. It's experiencing a mental break, and that he can't be held liable or responsible for the things that he says. As his attorney, I'm exerting my privilege to tell him to shut his fucking mouth and let me do my job.
Do you intend to formally assert that the experiment was nothing more than a conjuring trick? Because the moment you do, the Special Dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act that protects the professor's invention will cease to apply. The prosecution will then demand a rigorous examination of the machinery involved in order to establish the truth. However, if you acknowledge that the machine is genuine and instrumental in the victim's murder, any chance of investigating will be crushed, and the confidentiality of the professor's hypothesis preserved.
Good. I mean, I guess those are my two options. Well, counsel, what is the defense's official position on this matter? What Professor Hairbrain, my client, actually asked of me was to prove that the explosion on stage was an accident and protect the secrecy of his hypothesis. There's no way to do that without implying the professor's guilt. Do I protect my client's life by asserting his innocence? Or do I uphold my client's request but see him condemned? Either way, I can't avoid betraying his trust. Bro, it's like fucking, well, it's not as serious, but it's like, either way, you're damned, man. Either way I choose, I cannot win.
You've been silent long enough. Isn't talking your trade, my learned friend? Or has all knowledge of English escaped your confused Nipponese mind?
Okay, stop. Okay, you turned on sassiness a little bit. Oh no, he's doing that gesture. That's a classic, oh boy, we're kind of fucked, Naruhodo clan specialty. Mr. Naruhodo! There's no escape here. I have to make a choice. But it's an impossible one. I have to give up on something. But what? The defense asserts that the defendant's instantaneous kinesis machine was in fact, I mean, I don't know what the right answer is, TBH. I don't think either of these, necessarily are gonna be things that Hairbrain is gonna like one way or the other. But I don't think I'm gonna have a much better opportunity to leave things off on like a sexy cliffhanger. So, I guess I'll make my choice, in the next episode. Even if either way I choose, I cannot win. Boy. I mean, I don't think Hairbrain himself was trying to, like, fool people, or, he was, like, scamming people. he definitely seems to believe in the validity of his work. But well, either way, it's like, well, again, neither choice is exactly pretty, but we'll sort things out, I guess, in the next episode. Until then, though, I'll see you around.